book bays. I hope you had a great holiday season, and whatever holiday that you're celebrating around this time of year, I hope it's good. If you're not celebrating any holidays, then I hope that you just had a good time, because, you know, who wouldn't want a good time? Now, I hope also in the middle of all this stuff that you're getting some good reading done. Now, me personally, I just kind of mood read my way through December, and you know, for the most part, it worked out for me. So I'm going to do a quick wrap up and tell you about what I read. Now, the first book that I read is this big chunker here. Now, Indian Killer basically talks about how white people, just a couple of them, are coming up missing, and white people assume that, oh, it's a Native American that is going around killing white people, and they're all up in arms about it. Meanwhile, Native Americans are just trying to live their best life, okay, and not be made a target. Now, this book just seems like everybody is out to get Native Americans. Now, it does use the word, by the way, Indian in this book, quite rampant. This book is from 1996, so I think kind of terminology and sensitivities have not been caught up in this particular book. So I'm going to say Native American. Anyway, so you have all these different characters that are being followed. If you ask me, it was just way too much overkill. It's a psychological suspense novel, so you're in the heads of each and every one of these people, no matter how minute the character was. So that definitely annoyed me. Also, this book had this one character named Truck that is all too relatable in society. All of a sudden, oh my gosh, Native Americans are taking over America and we're going to lose our dominance. So you have to go out and suppress and oppress the minority voices. Does that sound familiar? Anyway, it also talks about how when you have someone that has like 1/4 Native American inside of their blood, all of a sudden I'm Native American. Let me go wear all the garbs and get the arrowheads and stuff and claim this in my genealogy is who I am. Well, okay, other minorities do not have that same luxury. So that fetish and that white people's obsession with Native American, I definitely see it here, and I also see it in society as well. Overall, this book was okay. I just felt that it dragged, and this little supernatural element, if you will, at the end just kind of pissed me off because it came out of nowhere. Overall, this book just was not worth the payoff of reading this big chunker book. It is 418 pages, so read it if you want to. The next book I read is called Woman World, and this is a simple graphic novel here. Basically, you have some sort of genetic mutation that caused men to basically die off, and now women are the only people in the world. So we're trying to rebuild and figure out how to live amongst each other. Now, this book is hilarious. It goes back and forth from seriousness to hilarious. And I also like the diversity that is represented in this book. And, ooh, y'all, this book was good. So this is their Viscious Games, okay? This author right here is Joelle Wellington. Okay, so this book is a YA novel about this black girl who is attending this really rich, predominantly white high school. And when she loses her scholarship to Yale due to something very unfair, then she enters this little competition put on by like this really rich family. Think like Rockefellers, right? And in this competition, girls basically compete, and whoever wins gets all the backing and all the privilege of this really rich family. So she thinks, hey, I can get my scholarship to Yale. Now, when she shows up, she realizes that it is literally cutthroat, and she definitely needs to win. Now, I love the plot of this book. It is as cutthroat and bold as the people are in this book. I mean, you have elitism, you have sexism, you have racism, and it was all spot on. There was a little bit of this like romance plot that kind of came out of nowhere, but I just let that go. It's not really something prevalent in the book. But overall, it was a great book, and you really see how rich people really do get away with anything and don't really have any consequences for their actions. Or do they? Must be nice. And let's see, what's the next book I read? Oh, and then I started diving into my Kindle Prime books. And I don't know why I waited so long to get into these books, but they're definitely nice. So I read a short story called The Lover by Silvia Moreno Garcia. You know, she wrote Mexican Gothic. And it is a fantastical tale about this woman who conjured up what she thought was her lover man. And then when he shows up, he marries her sister. So then she meets this other guy that's trying to woo her. But it was a fun, quick read with a very interesting plot. And the next read is, ooh, you got The Hanging City, y'all. This book was amazing. I absolutely loved it. It reads very YA, even though I don't think it says it. But it's basically about this young woman who has this ability to like instill fear in people. So her dad has always used that for his favor and used and abused her throughout her life. So she runs away and goes to this city that is populated by trolls that is underneath this bridge. You know, the whole tale, trolls underneath the bridge, right? And trolls don't like humans, but they take her in because she has this ability that can help them with their city. And then there's this like little romance component. And you have this caste system that she has to navigate, and she makes friends. You had oppression, you had hate, you had a little bit of closed door romance. You have found family, there's violence, just a little bit of everything. And I love that it wasn't like cookie cutter. Like bad things can definitely still happen to the main character, but definitely worth a read. If you have read this book, please message me, let me know what you think. I really enjoyed it a lot. I think just hands down probably one of my top books of the year. And the next book is, oh, same time next year. Okay, y'all, this is a Tessa Bailey book, okay? Basically, you have this Canadian hockey player that wants to stay in the country to get scouted by the NHL. However, he needs a green card because they're about to deport his butt like tomorrow. So he agrees to marry the sister of one of the teammates who, you know, he secretly likes the sister. And, you know, cookie cutter, they get married, that type thing, whatever, romance. What stood out for this book is the audiobook narrator. If you read this book, get the audio. This guy was on his job, okay? This guy was like passionate, okay? Especially the intimacy scenes. I was just like, whoo, I had to play those scenes for my husband, y'all. Just chef's kiss to the audiobook narrator. And the last book that I read is called All the Little Raindrops. Now, All the Little Raindrops follows two people who should be enemies because of something that happened between their dads. And they are both kidnapped and locked inside of these cages and, you know, have to depend on each other to get out. Now, they are basically pawns in this little rich people game of, hey, you need to do this horrible, degrading thing, otherwise I'm going to chop off his ear or his hand, that type thing. So I was happy they made it out. But it was a really good book. The ending, and when you find out all the little, hey, you know what? This person did this, and this is why you were here, and all this thing. Oh, the reveals were just, they kept coming. I really did enjoy the book. Now, it's psychological, so of course you get all the in the heads and stuff, but it definitely reads very quick. I would not have minded just getting a little bit more details about, you know, what happened while they were in the cages and in captivities and in the room, and also in the end. It also has a lot of triggers, so if you're not comfortable with reading like violence and SA and about kidnapping, then you might want to, you know, bypass this book. But I enjoyed it. You see that monsters come in all shapes, sizes, monetary, economic backgrounds, and sometimes you got to be the monster to catch a monster. But definitely a good book. And that is it. That's my read. So I read 7 books this month with all the holiday chaos, and I'm happy with that. So let me know what was your best read of this month and how your holidays went. So I'm gonna get out of here, go eat some leftovers. Please like, subscribe, and leave me some little comments. You know how I like it. And I'm gonna see you in the new year. Bye, y'all.